Hi everyone, I'm Sandie La Nae. Welcome to Psychic Creations. We have an interesting show for you today, so thank you for joining in. We have asked a few of our special guests to return on another show to demonstrate to us how they create their fabulous pieces of art and their skillfulness in the artistries. DebiLynn has been a guest on our show once before, speaking about oracle runes, the history, the glyphs that are carved on each rune tile, divining with runes, and other information. Now, as promised, we invited DebiLynn back on another Psychic Creation show so she can explain and describe to us how she creates her fabulous runes. So once again, please welcome creator and teacher of oracle runes, DebiLynn Smith. Yay! Yay! Air clapping. All right, it's an honor again to have you on our show. And I think this is fascinating. And I am very excited that DebiLynn is going to be showing us step by step how she creates, well, her fascinating runes, her wonderful talent. And I'm very excited to be in the midst of an artist.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. It's an honor to be
welcome. Here. It's all yours.
Okay, well, I do make runes from scratch. They are hand drilled and what we call etched or carved, depending on the material. I also make them out of wood, and they are wood burned. Each individual tile is selected by me. I pick up the blanks at various places. The birch ones that I have here are sawn. Personally, each little rune is sawed off of a branch.
Really?
Yes, and so they make the blanks, and then I go back in and I put the glyphs on them with the wood burning tool. For the stone ones, I have various places that I get them. I have places that have the mosaic tiles. I have Mexican agate, and I have some chocolate marble. Ooh, who doesn't like chocolate?
Yes.
Some mother of pearl. I have some, this is called brachiated agate and jasper. Yeah. And I try to use 100% natural stone, wood, or shell. I do have one that I'm willing to try here. These are actual little decorative stones that they use for, in candlescaping and different flower vases and stuff like that. They're plastic, and they're made out of bowling ball material. So this one would be fun to work with. Yeah, they're kind of different. Yeah, I thought I'd try them.
They feel awesome.
I'm not sure if I'm going to drill them or burn them, so I haven't quite figured out because they are plastic. So the sets that are up above in front are ones that I've completed. There's so many different types. Like I said, there's the chocolate marble, there's the birch, the natural birch, blue shell, malachite, mother of pearl. I have a little bit of gold shell, and then I have some rainbow calsilica also carved. So each set is individually crafted by me. I carved 24 of them, plus these sets all have a blank. When I divine and read my runes for other people, I don't use the blank. The blank stands for destiny, and who am I to say what your destiny or Michael's or Carolyn's destiny is, or any of our viewers? I leave those in the sets for their personal use. So I don't do a blank, it's mystery or destiny. Even in my own personal set, I don't use a destiny or mystery rune. I like to know what they're saying. I don't want to have to guess.
Right. Well, sure.
So there we go.
Sure.
One of the biggest things about what I do here is I am working with, little as it could be, power tools. So safety is always my primary concern. I always, always, always have my safety tools handy. And I've brought extra goggles and a mask if you're so inclined, because when I start to carve a little bit later on, there will be flying dust particles. So if you feel comfortable and want to put a pair of goggles on, you're more than welcome, and a mask.
Oh, maybe the mask. If I put goggles, I won't be able to see.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get you a mask so you can slip this on later, because I don't want anybody breathing this stuff in. It's pretty toxic.
Okay.
Okay. And we can play your Sandy, Nurse Sandy.
Well, yes.
And you always say to wear your lipstick, so I went ahead and put lipstick on mine.
I love it. Isn't that wonderful? That
My
is
mask
all right.
today, so yes, you said always wear your lipstick. So the first thing I'm going to do, safety-wise, is I have my, sorry, I dropped it. I have my shirt because this does start to fly everywhere. So I put that on. It's just an old shirt I got at the thrift store.
Sure.
And it protects my clothes because I do use water with some of this and it splatters. The other thing that's pretty important is I use, and I put it out here to specifically remember, is I put my hair up because I'm using a twisting turning tool that could wrap my head.
What a good point.
Yeah.
Very good
So I always
point.
remember to put it here, so I remember to put my hair up because I don't want to get it caught up in the, you know,
Well,
if you've ever done that with a mixer, it's not fun. So
Never had that opportunity.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
thing. So, okay. I'm going to start off by changing the drill bit. This is what I do most of the time. You twist it till it locks, and then I have a little, what's called a little wrench. Take this off of here and loosen it up. Come on. Do your thing. There you are. And I'm going to put in a brand new fresh drill bit. If you're not using a fresh drill bit, you can sometimes end up causing too much friction. You're not cutting, you're just grating the drill bit against the stone, and it can get pretty warm. And with the heat caused from it, then you can actually crack the tile, depending on the type of stone.
Oh,
by
good point. No pun intended, or every pun intended.
Oh, it's going to be a fun show.
Yes,
it is. Somehow I feel like, what's his name on this old house? Abrams, yeah.
Oh.
So, okay, so I've changed a new drill bit. Now, one of the things people ask me a lot of times is, well, why is this set only this amount and this set this amount? Well, a lot of that has to do with, first of all, the availability of the material.
Yes.
The preciousness of the stones, because I do use some semi-precious, like the malachite and the rainbow calsilica.
Yes.
And also how much drill bits, or how many drill bits I go through, because these are diamond bits, and they run about $10 a package for 2.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Yes, and they're pretty tiny. If you can, I don't
Well,
know
I
if
can
Michael
see
can
that.
pick this up,
Yeah.
but they're almost like a dentist drill. They're very, very
Yes,
small.
those are very
So, yeah, and depending on how hard the material itself is, I can burn 2 bits in one set.
Isn't
By
that
burning
something?
the actual diamond particles that are mounted onto these will actually rub off. They'll actually grind themselves off and make a mess. So I have to charge because they're expensive.
Well,
so that's kind of how
sure.
they're done. I really love to use the natural materials. I feel that it's very organic. It's very much tied back to Mother Earth. And because the runes are an ancient oracle, they didn't have a lot of the plastics, you know, or any of the other synthetic things that a lot of people are using or runes are made of nowadays. By using the natural items, I feel my personal goal and my personal mission is to make sure that people have in their hands a set of runes that actually are a gift from Mother Earth. So that's why I use the natural products, the stone, the shell, and the wood.
Love that idea.
Oh, I do
Awesome
too.
idea.
You have to have it. So, with that being said, I'm going to put my goggles on so I look like Space Cadet here.
Beautiful.
Oh, and then I got to use my lipstick when Sandie says I have to have lipstick.
That's right.
And we're going to get started. This takes a little
Okay.
bit, so making sure it's on my nose.
Oh,
I'm
you
not
bet,
choking
sure.
myself. Because when this gets going, you're going to see. I hope Michael can hear me through the mask. Okay, we've got a thumbs up, so we're good to go.
Yeah.
Now the fun part is to make sure I don't fog up my glasses.
Oh.
Hard breather. See, I'm going to take one of my sample stones, just a piece that I have here. This particular one is part of the chocolate marble. And in my vise, and I'm hoping Michael can get this.
Why, at first, why did you wet the stone?
One of the reasons that I wet it to start with and after is to keep the stone cool
Good point.
because of the friction. So I put a special grip tape on here. This particular black tape that's on my vise is like duct tape on steroids. It's very sticky on one side, plus it's got like a metal, a little bit bit stronger than a duct tape. It's not a plastic, it's more of a woven metal facing.
Interesting, okay.
So and it cushions my stone so it doesn't break when I crank down on the vise. Okay, that's pretty hard. Okay, I have my water here and it's ready to go. I have a sponge, brand new drill bit. Let's see, we've got lights, camera, and I'm going to have you put your mask on. And you hold that up there and we're good to go. Okay, this is little, it will run up to 30,000 RPMs.
Okay.
Revolutions per minute, so it's pretty powerful. And it's going to sound like the dentist. I'm sorry for anybody that gets queasy. And if we work on a shell one, it's going to smell like the dentist because I'm working on an organic material.
Oh, of course.
So it could smell like the dentist. So if you get queasy, let me know, I'll stop. So here we go, Michael. You ready? Okay. To see if I've gotten all the lines that I need to etch into it.
Oh, I don't know if you could zoom up on that, but oh, this is awesome.
There's a method to my madness here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay, and it is etched. I've got a couple of little places that I have to kind of correct a little bit, but we'll do that.
Okay.
Put this under here, so I'm going to run the buzz saw again for a minute. It's just like writing, but you have to steady your hand because of the grain in the rock, the different softness pockets and the different crystalline hard pockets in the rocks. It'll cause your hand to jerk. So you definitely have to hold it, an extra pressure on there to hold it to keep it from jerking. That's why safety is important, because it could bounce off and hit, you know, other things.
Interesting.
So,
good point.
Try to put this on here a little bit more. There we go. Okay, here comes the noise.
Interesting. Boy, you're just as steady as, wow.
I've done a few.
And I see what you mean. I could see the point just jerking around just a little bit there. So
I love working on the chocolate marble because it's pretty soft, but the whole process, if you get into some of those other ones, my personal set is a fire agate.
Oh,
and when I did that one, it actually went through 4 blades.
Is that right?
Because it's called fire agate for a reason, because when I put the drill bit to it and it got extremely warm, it started to glow like lava. It's an amazing stone, and it has a lot of Sandie's stones. She loves her stones.
I do know
but yes, and it is an amazing stone, and it was so cool working on it. And I thought, you know what? I don't think I'm going to give this one away.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
Keep it. I'm going to keep it. So once I've got it drilled, I'm going to go ahead and use my little toothbrush again. Kind of scrub it off a little bit, make sure I got all that fine powder out of there, because once it's dry, the next step will be to paint it.
Oh,
I put the glyph in where it's, now that it's recessed, it'll hold it. I've tried various things, painting right on the blanks.
Okay.
and it wears off because they won't necessarily adhere to the stone.
Exactly.
It is a paint, it's an enamel paint, but it won't adhere to the stone. But by etching it, the paint falls down into those little bitty grooves.
Sure.
And
okay.
it will stay there. So, and then I have a sheet.
Oh, sure.
Kind of shiny, but this sheet has all of the 24 runes on it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I've got it covered in plastic, and I lay it on my work table, and as I'm working on the runes, I will put the blank there so that I know and not make 4 of the same one, because you get lost when you're making 10 or 12 sets a day.
Oh, yeah. I guess so. Well, now this is, I love this. Have your own template right here.
I really do, and it helps me to know. I can probably make, if I'm sitting and not doing anything else, I can probably make 6 sets a day.
Oh, goodness, that's a lot of work.
And it takes at least an hour and a half to 2 hours per set.
Really?
With the drilling and the washing and when I first get my blanks, I wash them in the sink with some detergent to help get any oils that might have been used in the manufacture of them, because a lot of your commercial stone cutting tools use oil. They're oil cooled. And so when they're being cut, they could have a film of oil on them. So I use Dawn and one of those little Mr. Clean sponges to scrub every one of these.
Wow, this is a process.
Because if I leave the oil on them and I'm carving it, poof, because of the heat, I could get a small flame to start, or I don't want to do that. So,
well, no. So, isn't this interesting? I love the process of
there's a lot more to it than just, drawing something on a piece of wood. There really is. It takes a while, but it's worth it, and like I said, each one of my sets are hand done. Okay, I'm going to try a piece of shell next and show you. This is a little tiny one.
I am impressed.
What do you think?
I don't know if you can see that, Michael, or not, but I don't know if you can zoom in on that. There you go.
Where you can see it with the...
I'm just impressed with that. Can you zoom in on that? Okay. Isn't that awesome?
This particular rune is Tewa, which is an arrow, and that's the warrior rune.
Oh!
The warrior glyph. Yes.
Okay.
And it stands for courage and taking action and being assertive with something that you have to deal with. And so
that's a perfect rune, I think, for you to start out with your process today, right?
Take courage, yes. Okay, so this one's, if Michael could see this, is pretty small.
Oh, that is.
It's about the size of a dime. And this is Powa shell.
Oh, pretty.
And it has been stabilized, wherein it's got a piece of plastic in between it. They've mounted it to plastic because it can be very fragile.
Yes.
But it's really fun to carve, but it is very, very tiny. So getting it into the vise and getting it set is a lot of fun.
You need little tiny fingers. Could you possibly use some type of like a tweezer or needle nose plier?
I have a pair here that I could use, but I've tried holding them in my hands and carving them. It doesn't work.
Just doesn't work.
No,
okay.
I can't get steady enough, number one, because you saw me, I was holding my hand, bracing my hand, and I can't get, if it jerks, then I run a greater risk of carving myself.
Sure.
Good point. So this is actually pretty safe, and I can crank this down pretty tight.
Boy, this is fun.
Okay, so this one we'll also do.
Okay.
Wear my mask and my goggles because I don't want to get sick with all of this stuff. And I'm just kind of cupping under here. Oh, maybe. There we go. Aging Dr. Deb. Okay. Water, kind of soften the blow. And because these are tiny, let's see, let's make one. I have to make all of them at that size, and I have. Let's make the sun, shall we? some materials are quicker and easier to carve. We're done.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that one turned out pretty good.
Oh, and that is, oh, I just saw it. Oh, this one here.
Suelu, yes. That is the sun.
Looks like kind of a...
Yeah, it looks like a very...
interesting lightning bolt kind of
yes,
thing.
like a lightning bolt. Or
I don't know, could you, is this too small for you to...
Probably is without the gold in there yet to see it.
Oh,
yeah, because I usually put gold in it, so...
Oh, if you could.
Yeah, here's a little bit here. Can you zoom on it, Michael? Pretty tiny.
Yeah, and then it's got such lights to it, you know, the
Sparkle
power
stack.
jack. Yeah.
Once I get the paint into it, it'll be a lot better.
Okay.
This is basically how I carve almost
Okay.
each and every one of them, and like I said, there's 24%, and then there's the one blank one, so it can take quite a while. I do like to use certain stones over others. This particular stone, the brachiated jasper, is very, very, very tough. Very tough. Hard, hard, hard. And so if I was to carve this set, it would probably take me 2 to 3 drill bits.
Oh, is that right?
Because it is so difficult to carve. I love working on the marble one, like the first one I carved. It's very soft and very easy to work with.
Okay.
I love the power shells. I love the blue shell, some of the mother of pearl and stuff like that. So it is really easy to do some of these sets, and then other sets take quite a while to come together and
Goodness
stuff.
sakes,
So the other thing that I like to do is I like to work on the woods. So we will go ahead and warm up the hot knife.
Have you ever had, when you're working on a stone, have you ever had it break?
Oh, lots of times. Here's one here that cracked in half.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, they have, and I've drilled right on through them too, because some of them are fairly thin, and went, oh, okay, it's a bead. So I can lose some stones through attrition like that. I like getting big batches of them, because that way, when I do get, like, from tile companies and stuff like that, I can pick and choose and pretty much match the set.
Oh, nice. Good point.
Like when I got the marble, I had a bag like this.
Oh,
and I've made several sets already. But I like to pick through it and see, you know, what exactly I'm going to be working on here. I'm going to turn this up. This has got to be hot, 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 hot. So this is just a standard wood burning tool.
Okay.
There, we don't want to catch the house on fire.
Where can you, for our viewers that don't know, where can you buy a Dremel drill?
Almost any hardware store, plus Walmart has them, Home Depot, Lowe's. The bits, sometimes you have to get the bits at a bigger hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's, because Walmart doesn't always carry the diamond bit. They range in size from pinpoint, like the ones I used here, all the way up to something that's quite...
Oh, that is pretty big.
Like the big one the dentist used to get that root canal going, you know.
Wow,
but yeah,
that is very large.
Quite, and if you feel it, it's rough.
It is like sandpaper.
Yeah, it's got diamond embedded into it, so that when you're drilling, it does just auger that right on out of the materials. This is going to take a second to warm up.
Okay. All right.
And I've got one little blank here. I'll stick this in here. This is a real quick process. Okay. The biggest thing on this is not to burn your hands.
Oh, I can imagine so, sure.
So we put these back in there. I love working with the birch, because when I also use pine blanks, and those are nice. But when I use the birch, oh, it smells so wonderful. And you'll smell it here in a minute. It's sweet, almost like an incense.
How nice.
Other things that your viewers might want to consider. Number one is safety. I cannot, you know, stress that enough, because you really don't want to put a drill through your fingers, and I can't wear gloves because you see how tiny things are. I cannot wear gloves. So you really have to have a steady hand, no distractions. You have to make sure you wear your safety equipment, a mask and goggles, and be sure that you have, if you're working with this one particularly, that you have something on, because with the water it splatters.
Oh, okay.
And it makes quite the mess, and it can go airborne. It can go airborne, so that's very important, because you're working with shards of rock and stone that could be getting into your lungs if you don't use the proper equipment. Okay, we're getting one here. Feels like it. if it is or not. Okay, so with this, it's just a basic wood burning tool. This one has a chisel point. I don't know if Michael can see that. It's almost like a chisel point marker. And let's do joy. How about, let's do joy today. Okay? Because this one I have to hold a little different because I can't get as close to it because it's hot.
Yes, yeah. I can smell the heat from that.
Yeah, it's already starting to get warm. And I have it on the highest setting because I need that heat right into that wood for me. Might not even be hot enough yet. There it goes.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
You see the smoke
This
coming
is
off?
awesome, yes. Boy, that just burrows right down in there.
Yes, it does.
That is wonderful.
And steady as she goes. Is the hard part on this. Sorry, Michael, if you can't see it, but I'm going this way. You can see that, Sandy?
Yes, I sure can. Boy, that's just like a hot knife through butter.
I love the little wisp of smoke that goes
Sure. And you're right, I can smell the birch. It smells nice.
Very sweet. I'm interested to try to find some cedar blanks. I think that would be fun.
Oh, that would be. All right.
Okay, we're almost done.
Uh-huh.
This is how we do it. Okay.
Oh, beautiful. That is beautiful.
Very easy, very quick on these. I don't go back and paint them.
Yeah, there's really no need.
They're done.
Isn't that beautiful?
There's one Joy. Now,
Joy, look
quickly
at that.
for the paint,
Uh-huh.
I use Sakura markers. I don't want to burn myself. I use the Sakura Pin Touch or Tech Pins.
Oh,
And they
yes.
have their actual paint. And then once these are dry, and they're dry now, I'll go back and I'll take the paint, start it here, and I'll go back in and backfill
Oh, look at that.
that area so that it starts to sparkle and bling.
Isn't that
And I make
beautiful?
sure it really runs down in there so that it covers up everything. Okay.
Isn't that beautiful?
Then once it dries, I'll go back and wipe them off one more time. I'll hold this still for Michael.
Isn't that a beautiful painting there?
I'll dry it, and then I'll go back and wipe it one more time with the Mr. Clean Sponge dry. That'll take off any paint residue.
Oh, wonderful.
That's the process.
Hasn't this been an enjoyable demonstration on how to make these beautiful runes? Thank you so much for being back on our show to demonstrate how you make these beautiful runes. Real quick, can you give us your contact information?
You can email me. No. oraclerunes@gmail.com, sorry. I also on Facebook, under Oracle Runes, I have a page there, and you can see some of the sets that I have available for sale. I do classes on runes, and I do classes on hands-on classes where people can come and learn and play and practice on everybody in the class. So it's a lot of fun.
I love that. Again, thank you so much.
You're welcome,
This
Sue.
has been wonderful. You're always a wonderful guest and friend too. Thank you very much for watching Psychic Creations. And if you would like to be a guest on our show, you can get a hold of me at my website, which is www.sandypsychicstones.com. Again, thank you. And thank you for watching Psychic Creations, and we'll see you next show.